This episode of The Casual is brought to you in part by Squarespace. For all your website needs, Squarespace delivers it in an all-around package to help you build a beautiful, integrated online presence.
We've done the story of NIIGO so many times on this channel, and countless others have done the same, like too many to count. But for many, NIGO, who now holds the keys to Kenzo, is an enigma. So instead of going all, this is the history of NIGO again, we decided to give you 7 holy shit facts about the legend that shouldn't be surprising to even some of the most diehard fans. And these will probably help explain why he's so incredibly important in fashion. So with that, I'm THECASUAL, if you didn't know that already, and this is the intro. Starting from the bottom, now we're here. Bad joke. NIGO, despite being an international WonderCon, frequent traveler, and good friends with nearly every hip-hop celeb that ever existed, with his best friend being Pharrell, cherry on top, he does not speak English, like at all. Or at least that's the word, like he doesn't speak English, or it's not the word at all, because he doesn't speak English. Story is, dude actually understands a whole lot of English, which means he probably can speak. He just prefers not to. He always does his interviews with a translator and obviously operates at a high level without using it, supposedly, so he doesn't need to use it. Speaking of his friendship with Pharrell, this is the next one, in case you didn't follow. We don't like putting numbers on these. Anyway, speaking of his friendship with Pharrell, it was due to NIGO being a fan of Pharrell, and he orchestrated the entire meeting, sort of. The meet was apparently set up by the famed Jacob the Jeweler. You know who that is. If you don't, look him up. He's pretty famous. NIGO mentioned, via translation perhaps, because he doesn't speak English, which probably BS, he mentioned to Jacob that he was a fan of Pharrell, and Jacob, who also knew Pharrell, was like, yeah, I can introduce you. And NIGO was like, hell yeah, via translation, the two met and have been besties ever since. It just makes you think a bit though, you know, like that NIGO truly was like the biggest fanboy of a ton of United States American stuff, and now all these Americans treat him like the god of streetwear. It's just funny how the role reversal there is amazing. Next one, speaking of how everybody treats him like a godsend, certain individuals do this more than others, and they give him massive credit for their growth as creatives. Like for Futura, it goes beyond just appreciation and into adoration. Like NIGO once proposed to Futura the idea of putting branded t-shirts in spray paint cans as packaging, which eventually made it into Bape stores. But some of you OGs already know that. Now, to hear that today, you might be like, okay, this is not important. Fix your glasses, whatever. But think about it. Futura, a graffiti artist, didn't come up with this idea. It was a Japanese dude who's basically, like really, an otaku of American hip hop culture. Futura, to this day, calls the Bape spray paint can idea one of the coolest things, if not the coolest things he ever did, despite admitting he's done cooler things since. But considering the time is like decades ago when this came out and the detail the cans were actually made of metal, NIGO's thought process amazed even the great Futura and made him better as a creative. Anybody who knows about NIGO should know about Skate Thing. Why? Because NIGO's friendship with the enigmatic designer is a bit deeper than just, he hired him to do some logos for the brand. No, that's not it. Because while NIGO is often credited with creating the world-renowned A Bathing Ape in Lukewarm Water, he didn't come up with the idea alone. No. The story goes that Skate and NIGO came up with the concept of Bape together as kind of a joke after doing a marathon run of Planet of the Apes because they both liked the movies. According to NIGO, he didn't think it was going to be as big as it was going to be, and he just used his extensive network and savvy business marketing skills to blow the brand up. Which is why today, even in interviews, he says he doesn't get why a ton of people still love it, which is kind of like a smack in the face to fans. However, Skate Thing went on to work on various projects and also working a lot with his friend NIGO for years and has become a silent, albeit massive success in his own right. All right, so we got like 3 or 4, I think it's 3 more. But before that, let's go ahead and get in a word from our sponsor, Squarespace.
In the fashion industry, the competition is fierce and your presentation has to look solid from jump. That's where Squarespace comes in. Beautifully designed templates, easy to use web building tools, and social integration make Squarespace the perfect choice for the budding entrepreneur or even the savvy professional. Plus, by using our link, squarespace.com/thecasual, you could save 10% when you start. So, get that business off the ground the right way and use Squarespace today.
Next up, we're talking about Bape. And so while we know Nigo is the man who created Bape, it's usually hidden how he was able to start a label and make it a massive success despite being a countryside kid who moved to Tokyo when he came of age. Like, people know the nowhere story and all that, but how did he actually do it? Well, it turns out if you dig a bit deeper, the way he started Bape monetarily is via a loan, but not from a bank, from a friend. You see, Nigo borrowed 4 million yen from his friend Jonyo, which sounds like a lot until you realize that 1, Jonyo is Jun Takahashi of Undercover, and 2, 4 million yen is about $35,000 USD. So yeah, still a big loan, but a damn good friend. Until you start thinking just a little bit more. Bape was started in 1993, which, if you account for inflation, then Nigo borrowed the equivalent of over 67K when adjusted to today. That's $67,000, which means Jonyo, aka Jun Takahashi, is the best damn friend of all time. That investment obviously paid for itself several times over, but how many of you have friends that believe in your vision that much? I know I have a lot of good friends. I don't know if I have any friend that's gonna give me 67K. I just, no. That's not gonna happen. They'd probably look at me and ask me for that. I wouldn't do it. I'm not that good of a friend. All right, so coming in at the 2 spot, if you had the pleasure of checking out Nigo's first collection at Kenzo, you may have noticed his use of Japanese denim. Of course, right? He's Japanese denim. But now, it's pretty much a well-known fact that Nigo is a denim fanatic. Many people who follow the man's work already know this. But what they may not know is his journey with denim goes back over 35 years. Nigo started collecting denim at around 15 or 16 years old and has an extensive collection that's pretty much priceless today. He has pairs of Levi's that were made in the 1950s that he got for the low that are now worth a pretty penny. His love of denim is so extensive and his collection so massive that Levi's tapped him to recreate pairs that they made, but needed his collection to actually make them the right way. How you Levi's and you don't know how to make your own jeans that were made in the 1950s? All right, so for the last one, this one's big. Now, everybody knows that Nigo's mentorship, who he mentors, it's extensive. The guy has put on so many people, it's ridiculous. And part of the reason is because he likes to employ people close to his circle and who inspire him so that he may add to his own vision. Beyond his exploits with Pharrell Williams that included Billionaire Boys Club and ice cream, or his push to get KAWS more exposure in Japan, which resulted in the artist becoming as huge as he is today, or the aforementioned Futura mentorship, and finally his first partnership with Jun Takahashi at the Nowhere store back in the beginning. Yeah, mentoring has just kind of been his thing. But it goes even deeper, like underground deeper. Nigo also hired Toby Feltwell. Don't stress if you don't know that name, you'll know in a second. He also hired Skate Thing, of course, while he was running Bape. Those two went on to become 2 of a trio of guys who started the cult favorite street label, Cav M. But those are patty cakes next to his biggest contributions to date. It was Nigo who introduced Virgil Abloh to Michael Burke. You know, the now CEO of Louis Vuitton? Yeah, Nigo was friends with Burke all the way back in his Fendi days and gave Abloh a personal cosign to the dude that would be instrumental in hiring Virgil as the LV artistic director. That's right. Tangentially, Nigo is responsible for Virgil being at LV. Maybe not all, but he definitely had the 2 guys meet. So the next time you think dude is insignificant, that being Nigo, think about how much Midas he has in his touch. There's a reason why some people call him Nigold, and he had like a whole line named that. Dude has that touch. So it's no wonder why Nigo's so influential, because he gives and is inspired by others. Even things today, he never stopped. In fact, that's what makes him such a powerful voice, is that he's open to the old and the new. He even mentors Verdi, which is, I mean, he's in every corner. And to be honest, that's just the surface. Many hardcore fans out there have even more crazy facts about the guy that you should probably know before casting judgment in either direction. So I leave that to the comments section, to those folks. It's your responsibility now, not mine. You do it. What are some other notable facts about NIIGO you can share, or how do you feel about his body of work? Anything, let it be known. And if you want more content like this, as well as fashion industry business tips and info, you know what to do. Subscribe and also turn on notifications. It helps a lot. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I'll see you guys in a minute.